Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast. I am your host, Johanna Dahlman. Today, we're going to be talking about why gut health is not the end all be all. And before we get into today's podcast, I did want to go ahead and congratulate Miriam from Germany on all the hair growth that she has seen. This is somebody who's been dealing with hair loss for over 20 years, has done everything, tried everything, has spent thousands and thousands of dollars, and yet nothing has worked. Sound familiar? And then all of a sudden, she finds me. She joins the Hair and Heal program, and she's now in week 4 of when she started seeing hair growth. She's currently in week 9 or 10, and she continues to see tons of hair growth. Her dermatitis, her skin issues have completely gone, and she feels absolutely amazing. So congratulations to Miriam. And congratulations to Adrienne, who recently also joined. She's in week 4 currently. All of her shedding, all of her massive shedding for the last 5 years has stopped. And that's a big thing, because the thing is, it's like we need the hair loss to stop in order to move forward with the hair growth, right? So if you're in the hair loss phase, you need to stop the hair loss to get to the hair growth. And I actually have another story to share about that. But before we do, I just wanted to go ahead and let you all know that I'm using new product. Apparently, the mousse that I used to use for the last literally 20 years of my life has been discontinued because it has chemicals that cause cancer. So it's been taken off the market absolutely completely. You cannot find any of these bottles anywhere, which good riddance for many reasons. But at the same time, finding new product to sustain your hair, your curls, your whatever you're looking to do in different types of weather and environments is challenging. And so I am testing out a bunch of mousses right now, and I haven't necessarily married any of them. But as you can tell, once I find something, I am loyal. Everything and so much more for me throughout all my travels, throughout all the places I've lived, and it is no longer available. However, this is where testing and trying can be challenging. And I'm sure you've been through it too, because even through my situation with alopecia, my hair was acting up. The curls weren't forming as they should. It wasn't doing its thing as it should. It wasn't staying put or fluffy or doing anything as it would normally do, even with the same product. But this is a byproduct of the actual alopecia and everything else going on within you, within me. And so just a side note, if you're feeling and seeing that your hair for some reason just stopped doing the magic that it used to do with the products that you're using, potentially it's time to give up those products and move on. Or I would say, and actually, not or, and also consider really healing yourself from the inside out, because that's really the only way where you will find progress, find the hair growth, and see that your body will be back in balance in order for it to do its thing again, regardless of where you live and the type of environment that you're in, whether it's rainy all the time or sunshine or dry or humid. This can work regardless of also your hair type. So again, this is also very important to note. But today's topic, we are talking about gut health. It's a trendy word. It's a trendy phrase that everyone needs to be mindful of their gut health. And there's lots of things to be mindful of, right? And you see this in magazines, you see this on Instagram, you see this everywhere. However, what I don't want any of you to think or believe is that gut health is the end all be all. That gut health is the one thing that you need to do to get your hair back, or is the one thing that's going to lead you to hair growth, because that's a misnomer. That's a true misnomer. Gut health is important, absolutely. But this is like a car. Your body is like a car. It's not just about the gasoline. It's not just about the motor. It's not just about the tires. There's so much more that goes and that's involved in the mechanics of the car to make it run smoothly. It's not just one thing. It's not just diet. It's not just gut health. It's not just this. It's not just that. It's a lot of things put together. And for some people, some things can be quite easy. Like for me, yoga is pleasurable and it's easy. And for some people, it's not. For some things can be quite easy or quite challenging, but this all depends on you. But going back to gut health, I recently started working with a gut health coach. She came to me because of her hair loss. So she's a new client. She just started the Hair and Heal program, which those doors just closed a couple weeks ago. She's been in this profession for the last 20, 30 years or more. She's been the gut health coach for eons before gut health was even a thing. And so she's queen bee in her field. She's queen bee about this knowledge. And Yet she too has hair loss. And yet she too has blind spots. The magic here is that when she started the Hair and Heal program, the first thing she does, and anyone does, you get the intake form. Once you get the intake form, you get my recommendations back. So she's in a different time zone. And between my recommendations to her and her implementing it, it was less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours. And I get an email and she tells me, Johanna, the hair loss stopped in just 24 hours. I was absolutely beside myself. I've heard of many clients see amazing results in just 2 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, but 24 hours? That's a new record. It's an absolute new record. And granted, she is a gut health coach. She does and has worked on herself many years and clearly has gone into this profession because of her own concerns. And she does help other clients. But I'm sharing her story so that you can see and understand that gut health isn't everything towards hair growth. And there are aspects that can hold you back, regardless of your background, regardless of your education, regardless of you thinking that you found the root cause. Because let me give you a secret. It's never just one thing. So for any of you out there thinking, oh, my one thing is stress. Oh, my one thing is thyroid. Oh, my one thing is this. My one thing is that. It's never one thing. I'm sorry to break the news. It's never one thing. It's always a multiple aspects. It's multiple things. And just like the car parts that make the car run, just like all the aspects of our biology and our bodies, it's never just one thing. And so many times we need to step aside from our ego, step aside from what we think is right for us and understand that there's more to it and that there's more work to do. And so I shared the story of this gut health coach who is a brand new client because she's been struggling with hair loss for over 20 years, 20 years. And she tried to do it herself, right? I think most women, most people want to try to do things themselves, right? Whether it's the weight loss, whether it's the hair growth, whether it's the healing of their eczema or their autoimmune disease or this and that. But I got to tell you, raising your hand and asking for help is probably easier, faster approach, and also gets you to the finish line, gets you to those results a lot quicker and faster. So for example, for any of you who have been on a fertility journey or a health journey outside of hair loss, you'll know that it takes more than just one thing. And sometimes one person has all the answers. For example, when I was going through my alopecia, I went through a gazillion doctors, more probably just like you. And the thing is, none of them had the answers for me. If you still think that your alopecia, your hair loss is just due to one thing, you're missing the mark. You really are. And you're probably doing yourself or your child a disservice because it's more than one thing. Even if you think you've moved over or you've, let's say, targeted a big boulder, there's always more to go with it. It's just like weeds in a garden. There's never just one. There's always more to it. Or let's say ants or termites or anything else that might be happening. They never work by themselves. They have a colony nearby. And so it's always something for you to consider. Many times we can try to do things ourselves, but it's a lot easier if we focus with a proven method with the pro who's been there, done that. And just this gut health coach, I don't know at what point she found me, but she decided to take action. And I believe that's the single most important factor here. It's not the fact that it's been 20 years and she's been dealing with hair loss. It's not the fact that she's a gut health coach. It's the fact that she took action, and the sooner the better. Because imagine in her case, she was absolutely devastated with the amount of hair loss that she was going through, and it just stopped in 24 hours. 24 hours. What would you do if that was you? How would you feel if that was you stopping all the hair loss in just 24 hours? And then, of course, the next step is moving into the hair growth. That's the beauty of it. You stop the hair loss, you move into the hair growth. It's quite simple. And so this is the power of eliminating blind spots. This is the power of working with me, of working inside the Hair and Heal program, because it doesn't matter if your education or your background or your experience. At the end of the day, we all have blind spots. I'm guilty of this too. This is why it took me over 4 years to figure this out for me. And then of course, to see it for others as well. It's 4 years of, for me at least, of just an elongated, delayed success rate. And for her, it's 24 hours. And for you, it could be a couple days, weeks, who knows? But all that in comparison to what you've already been experiencing for all the months, years, decades that you've been dealing with the hair loss, that's huge. That's so huge. It's nothing in comparison. And so that's the beauty of it. Taking action, understanding that we don't know everything. And so the do-it-yourself approach is very common, but it actually leads to more mistakes. It leads to more blind spots, to self-doubt. It leads to inquiry amongst people and forums that don't have the answers, that are not in your situation, that don't have anything relatively similar to you. Because even though if we all had the same type of hair loss, the healing aspect would all look very different. It's not a one size fits all. It can never be a one size fits all. That's why when someone just makes a blanket statement of saying, hey, look at your gut health and this is all you need. No, it's not. So sorry. That's not all you need. That's like saying in order to lose weight, all you need to do is reduce your calories. That's not true either. And that doesn't work for a lot of people. We know this. Or just the opposite. It's just like saying you need to work out more and eat less. That also doesn't work in theory, at least not long term. And so the thing is, it's like there's more to it and there's always more than one blind spot. But the thing is, the sooner you catch these, the sooner someone can bring these to light, the better it is for you. So I wanted to share this lady's story with you so that you can hear just how empowering it is to work with an expert, to see the hair loss stop in 24 hours after 20 years of hair loss, and her being solely focused on gut health, helping people and clients with gut health. And yet it's still not enough for the hair loss to stop or for the hair shedding. In just 24 hours, the hair loss stopped. It may sound like a miracle. It may sound like this is blasphemy, but in reality, like I have the email, she's got the results, and that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, all that matters is your results, not my results, not her results, not anyone else's results, but yours. Your results matter. Your hair matters. And the way we achieve that will look different than anyone else because we're all different. We're all so individual, so unique that this will definitely look different in terms of the healing process and in terms of getting to where we want to get to, full hair growth. I'm in my mid 40s. Like I've got tons of hair and it's for a reason. And this is just it. Once you know and you do, then you see the results. That's where the magic happens. I hope that this helped you understand a little bit about your situation. I hope this has helped you get inspired about what's possible, because just like her, so many of us others that are going through hair loss can also stop the hair loss in 24 hours or less. We can also stop it in 2 weeks or less. We can also stop it in 3 weeks or less, or 3 days or 4 days. It just all depends on who you are, how you respond as a student, and implementation. Step-by-step approach tailored to you. Thank you so much. Please rate and review our podcast. And also, we have a free hormone and thyroid training if that is of interest to you. Hormone and thyroid is something that affects men and women all over the world of any age. And so this is a wonderful free training that I'm offering on my website, alopeciaangel.com. And I look forward to speaking to you next time. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.